Welcome to Metier Study Center. Our today's topic will be time, speed, distance, in which we will discuss proportion concept. And this kind of questions are very common in all MBA entrance exams. And the question we have chosen today, it was a previous year question, right? The exact language may vary, but the concept was like this. A lady went to shopping mall and spent 30 minutes there. This first line has no connection with the question. But what for it is given? Just to divert your mind that there will have something related to shopping. And don't think that how a lady can spend only 30 minutes in the shopping mall. So no connection with all these things. Our actual question starts from second line, second sentence. On return, if she travels at 10 km per hour, she can reach home at 7 p.m. But if she travels at 15 km per hour, means if she increases her speed, she can reach home at 6:30 p.m. What should be her speed if she wants to reach home at 6:15 p.m.? Okay. So let's start the concept first. What is proportion concept? Proportion concept means we are going with the relation among the parameters in time speed distance. In time speed distance, we have few parameters, time, speed, and distance. In this particular problem, what we are getting that the let me go with some different color. It will be better. Now, in this particular problem, what we are getting that distance is constant. In this case, distance is constant. So if distance is constant, what we can say that speed and time, they will be inversely proportional to each other. Means if speed increases, time will decrease. If speed decreases, time will increase. In this case, just have a look. If she increases her speed from 10 to 15, so she reaches home earlier, means she takes less time to reach her home. And at the end, you have to go with the time 6:15 p.m. means she has to increase her speed further. And we have to find out that speed. So this kind of question, if you want to go with conventional method, with the variable distance between shopping mall and home is d kilometer or x kilometer, and original and the speed required, then go for equations, all these things. It may be time consuming. So this proportion concept is very important here. Let me go with that. And at the end of the session, you will be comfortable enough to understand the logic here. Check. This 10 km per hour was the minimum speed in the concept. And in that case, she reaches at 7 p.m. Means she takes the maximum time. 15 km per hour will be the second lower speed or second higher speed, you can say. And this speed at 6:15 p.m., what is required? That will be the highest one. So what we are getting that if we consider that speed which is required here is V, so we can say that 10, 15, and V, they are in increasing order. So what we can say here that speed ratio will be 10:15:V. Now, what we have discussed, speed and time will be inversely proportional. So what will be the time ratio? Time ratio will be the reciprocal of that 1/10 is to 1/15 is to 1/3. Now the problem here is all we can not go with this kind of fractions in the calculation. We have to convert it in the integer form. So in our ratio class, we will discuss the concept how to go from fraction to integer in ratio. So I am going with that directly here. So we have to replace 1/10. So when we have to replace 1/10, we have to forget this value and we have to go with other two values. So it will be coming as 15V. Second, when we have to replace 1/15, we have to forget about this second term. We have to go with first and third term. And in the same logic, we are getting the third one will be 15 into 10, 150. Right? So what we are getting here that the time ratio is there in integer form. Now we have to check it. If we go with this 6:15 p.m., this will be the earliest possible time she can reach home. So we can assume that this 6:15 p.m., we can write down here, this 6:15 p.m. will be his usual speed, right? Now, if 6:15 p.m. is her usual speed, and when she reaches at 6:30, we can directly say that she is 15 minutes late to reach home. And if 6:15 is usual speed or usual time, so better to say usual time. This is usual time. V is the usual speed. 6:30 will be 15 minutes late and 7 will be 45 minutes late in term of or in comparison with 6:15. So we will go with this particular relation here. Okay. We will go with this particular relation here that we consider 6:15 p.m. as the usual time at the speed V, and 6:30 p.m. will be 15 minutes late and 7 will be 45 minutes late. Let's go with these values here. When 6:15 is the usual time, means V is the usual speed here. So the time, the third part, it will be the usual time. And with respect to usual time, this will be coming as 15-minute late. And what we can say that with if we compare from 150, so from 150 to this 15, this will be coming as 45-minute late. So what we can write down that if we go with the comparison, we cannot say equal. You have to go with proportion. As because this 15V, 10V, and 150, none of these will be the actual values. So if we have to go with the proportion, what we can say that 15V minus 150 will be proportionate to 45 minutes. And again, we can say 10V minus 150 will be proportionate to 15 minutes. If we want to go with actual values, so in ratio, you have to go with certain constant. If it will be 15 VK, 10 VK, and 150K, then we can say 15 VK minus 150K equals to 45. 10 VK minus 150K equals to 15. But ultimately, what we will do here, after this, we will go for division concept here. When two terms are proportionate, better to go with to avoid proportion, we can go with this proportion with proportionate sign. We cannot go for further calculation. So we need some equation. So we need some equal to sign here. So what we are doing here, we go for this. We go for this now. That this will be equal. Now check. If you want to go with those K, 15 VK minus 150K in the numerator, 10 VK minus 150K in the denominator, K will be cancelled out. So this ratio will be coming. And if you solve this, you can directly get the value of V. This is proportion concept. With this calculation, you can easily go for V directly. You need not to go for equations. In normal situation, in school days calculations, we have to go for equations of the distance. And after solving those equations, we can find out the value of D. Then after putting the value of D, we can calculate this V. But better choice is if you go for proportion concept, you can easily go for this calculation and finally you can get the value of V. Now, if you can act bit smarter in this part, check here. If we go for comparison from 150 in both the cases, in numerator, denominator, if you have to go for 150, then we have 4 multiplications. If you go for cross multiplication, 2 terms in numerators, 2 terms in denominators, they will be cross multiplied. So 4 multiplication will be there. But if you can act bit smarter, what you can do here, second comparison, we are not going from 150. Check with respect to 150, 10V is 15 minutes extra. And with respect to 150, 15V is 45 minutes extra. So if you can compare from 10V here, it will be coming as 30 minutes late. If you compare the speeds 10 kilometer per hour and 15 kilometer per hour, first term and second term, so we are getting there 30 minutes late. So if you can go with that here, in the numerator, you can easily write down 15V minus 10V, and it will be coming as 30 here. Now check, this calculation will be much easier for us. In the numerator, what you are getting, that 15V minus 10V, you can get here directly 5V. Denominator is 10V minus 150. It will be coming as. Now check, in the numerator, you have only one term here. But if you go with 15V minus 150, you have 2 terms here. So you can act bit smarter in this way. And what we are getting here, that 20V minus 300 equals to 5V. So you are getting 15V equals to 300. So V will be coming as 20 kilometer. That's all. First advantage is of proportion concept. Second advantage you can get here, slight advantage you can get here if you can add smartly here. In place of 15V minus 150, if you can write 15V minus 10V, your calculation will be bit less. So in this way, you can solve this kind of problem of time speed distance with the help of proportion concept smartly and quickly. In our coming videos, we will discuss this concept again. If you will have any doubt, you can directly contact me over the phone number 84204-25084, or in YouTube, you can put your comment if you have any doubt. Thank you.